Silent preparation. Furious response. The Vesperi ships appeared without warning in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. Sleek, crystalline vessels that glittered like deadly jewels against the blue backdrop of humanity's home. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't make demands. They simply began firing. The first plasma lances carved through Earth's atmosphere, vaporizing the eastern seaboard of North America in seconds. The second volley took most of Europe. By the time the third attack came, global communications were in chaos, power grids failed, and planetary defense systems, woefully inadequate against such advanced technology, had been reduced to slag. In their crystalline command ship, the Vesperi Supreme Commander Krull Thax watched with cold satisfaction. His segmented eyes reflected the burning continents below, mandibles clicking in a rhythm that his officers recognized as pleasure. The intelligence was correct. He chittered to his sub-commanders. Their defenses are primitive. Their weapons can't penetrate our shields. They've managed no coordinated response. He gestured with a clawed appendage at the tactical display. Prepare ground forces. We'll have this world subjugated by the lunar cycle's end. One of his officers, younger and more cautious, approached hesitantly. Supreme Commander, our intelligence indicated this species has a surprising tendency toward what? Krull Thax interrupted. Look at them. Scattered, uncoordinated, their pitiful militaries overwhelmed. The humans are exactly what the intelligence said, a primitive species that makes noise but possesses no real bite. On the burning surface below, survivors huddled in the ruins of cities, watching the alien fleet through smoke-filled skies. Parents held children close, soldiers stared upward with useless weapons, and global leaders who had survived scrambled to make sense of the sudden attack. Despair hung heavy in the air along with ash and smoke. But 14 kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, in a facility unknown to all but a handful of people, Commander Elise Chen was not in despair. Her dark eyes reflected the countless displays that surrounded her in the command center of Bastion 1, her expression carved from stone. Status report, she said, her voice calm despite the situation. The Vesperi fleet has destroyed 37% of Earth's surface infrastructure, reported Colonel Reyes, her second in command. Military resistance has been ineffective. Global communications are compromised. Chen nodded once. And the Sentinel network. A slight smile crossed Reyes' face. 100% operational. They never detected the satellites. Orbital arrays are powered and awaiting your command. And the fleet. The Phoenix, Nemesis, and Valiant are ready to launch. The rest of the Armada is powering up at the lunar base and Mars shipyards. Chen walked slowly toward the central command console. The facility hummed around her, a secret heart of humanity's true military capability that had been hidden from the world and from space-based observation for decades. The Vesperi believe we're defeated, she said quietly. They think our silence means surrender. She placed her palm on the biometric scanner, and the system pulsed with blue light. Initiate protocol thunderstrike. Throughout the solar system, systems that had lain dormant for years activated. On the dark side of the moon, massive hangar doors slid open. In the Martian polar ice caps, launch bays melted their disguising ice. Scattered through the asteroid belt, automated weapon platforms oriented toward Earth. Within the rings of Saturn, stealth destroyers disengaged their camouflage fields. Humanity had not been defenseless. It had been patient. Send the transmission, Chen ordered. Across all frequencies in every language, a single message broadcast to Earth's population. Citizens of Earth, this is Commander Elise Chen of the United Defense Force. Stand firm. The enemy struck first, but humanity will strike harder. Retribution is coming. In orbit, Krull Thax was preparing to address his invasion force when alarms blared across his command ship. What is it? He demanded. Energy signatures, Commander. His sensor officer responded, mandibles clicking rapidly in distress. Hundreds of them, emerging from hidden positions throughout the system. Before Kralthax could respond, the first human warship rose from beneath Antarctica's ice. The UDF Phoenix, a vessel twice the size of the largest Vesperi cruiser, its hull black as night, bristling with weapons that had never been revealed to the galactic community. It didn't fire warning shots. It didn't demand surrender. The Phoenix's main cannon activated, a beam of concentrated energy that cut through the nearest Vesperi destroyer like a knife through tissue. The alien vessel didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist, reduced to its component atoms in an instant. Impossible. Kralthax raged, mandibles flaring. Where did they get this technology? Our intelligence indicated. Sir, his communications officer interrupted. We're detecting launches from the lunar surface, more human vessels. From the dark side of the moon, where the Vesperi sensors had detected nothing but barren regolith, rose a fleet of warships. Not the primitive chemical rockets the aliens had expected, but advanced vessels with drives that bent spacetime. Leading them was the UDF Nemesis, its weapons already targeting the next wave of Vesperi ships. In Bastion 1, Chen watched the tactical display with calm satisfaction. Begin Phase 2, she ordered. From Mars, a third wave launched, smaller, faster attack vessels designed for one purpose: hunting. The UDF Valiant led the charge, its commander, Captain Aiden Nakamura, broadcasting on all frequencies. For Earth, the Vesperi fleet, caught completely unprepared, began to break formation. Ships scattered in desperation, some attempting to regroup, others trying to escape the sudden onslaught. But humanity's hidden defenses have been positioned precisely to prevent retreat. They're trying to run, Rais observed, watching the display. Let them try, Chen replied. Activate the Cerberus array. Throughout the asteroid belt, weapons platforms that had been disguised as ordinary rocks activated, energy webs stretching between them. The fleeing Vesperi ships slammed into barriers of pure energy, their momentum carrying them into their own destruction. On his command ship, Kralthax watched in growing horror as his invasion force was systematically dismantled. How? He demanded of no one in particular. How could we have been so wrong? His intelligence officer, mandibles trembling, finally spoke. The historical records warned us, Supreme Commander. The humans have always been deceptive warriors. They appear weak until provoked beyond endurance. Then they reveal their true strength. Why was this not emphasized in our briefings? Kralthax hissed. It was dismissed as exaggeration. Sir, the Council believed their technological level indicated. A direct hit rocked the command ship, cutting off the officer's explanation. Kralthax steadied himself against his command terminal. Get us out of here, he ordered. Maximum speed to the jump point. As the Vesperi command ship accelerated away from Earth, pursued by the relentless UDF vessels, Kralthax received a direct transmission. On his view screen appeared Commander Chen's face, her expression cold and determined. This is just the beginning, she said simply. You struck our home. Now we will strike yours. Humanity is coming for the Vesperi, and we will not stop until justice is served. The transmission cut off, and Kralthax felt something he had never experienced before: fear of a supposedly lesser species. As his ship limped toward the jump point that would take them back to Vesperi space, he realized the terrible truth. They hadn't attacked a weak, primitive civilization. They had awakened a sleeping giant. The tide of retribution. 3 weeks after the failed Vesperi invasion, the galaxy was learning a harsh lesson about humanity. The species that many had dismissed as primitive, fractious, and militarily insignificant had revealed itself to be something else entirely. A race of warriors who had deliberately concealed their true capabilities. Admiral Victor Torres stood on the bridge of the UDF Vindicator, watching as his fleet emerged from FTL on the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. A grizzled veteran with weathered features and eyes that had seen more battles than most, Torres had been waiting decades for this moment. The unveiling of what insiders called the Phantom Fleet. Status report, he commanded, his voice a low rumble that carried natural authority. All 37 vessels present and operational, Admiral, his XO, Commander Sophia Wu, replied. The Vesperi defensive fleet has been detected in standard orbital formation around their colony world. Torres nodded, studying the tactical display. The Vesperi had established their forward operating base in the system 5 years ago, believing it safely beyond humanity's reach. Now it would become an object lesson. "Are they scanning us?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Wu confirmed. "They're registering confusion. Our stealth systems are still partially masking our true numbers and capabilities." Torres allowed himself a thin smile. "Good. Have they sent communications?" "They're trying, sir. Standard demands for identification and threat warnings." The Admiral's expression hardened. "Send them our only response." You struck first. Across the void of space, the Vesperi colonial commander Zelkar received the human transmission with growing alarm. The defeat at Earth had been shocking enough, but intelligence had indicated the humans lacked FTL capability. Yet here they were, appearing at a Vesperi colony light years from Earth, with ships that seemed to phase in and out of sensor readings like ghosts. "Defensive formations," Zelkar ordered. "All ships prepare to engage. Ground batteries activate." But the humans didn't attack immediately. Instead, the massive Vindicator transmitted a system-wide broadcast, directed not just at the Vesperi military, but at the civilian population below. Admiral Torres's weathered face appeared on every communication device in the colony. "This is Admiral Torres of Earth's United Defense Force. Your military attacked our homeworld without provocation, murdering millions of innocents. Now you will understand the cost of that decision. However, humanity is not without mercy. You have 6 hours to evacuate all civilian personnel from military installations. After that time, we will destroy every military asset in this system. This offer will not be extended to any other Vesperi world. Consider it a demonstration of what awaits your people if your leaders do not immediately sue for peace." Back on the Vindicator, Torres turned to Wu. "Begin the countdown. Deploy the Wraiths." From the belly of several human warships emerged smaller vessels, barely visible even to advanced sensors. The Wraith-class infiltrators, another secret development, slipped past Vesperi defenses like shadows through a forest. Meanwhile, in the Vesperi homeworld Central Command, Supreme Leader Dravkor received the news of the human fleet's arrival with cold fury. Surrounding him, the High Council chittered nervously. "How did they find this colony so quickly?" one counselor demanded. "And how did they get there? Their kind doesn't possess jump drive technology." "Clearly, our intelligence was wrong," another responded. "Catastrophically wrong." Dravkor silenced them with a sharp gesture. "Supreme Commander Kralthax, explain yourself. You assured us the humans were primitive. Their defenses negligible." Kralthax, his carapace dulled with stress and defeat, lowered his head. "Supreme Leader, we were deceived. The humans deliberately presented themselves as technologically inferior. They hid their true military capacity underground, on their moon, in their asteroid belt, even in the rings of their gas giants." "But why?" demanded a counselor. "Why would they hide such strength?" "Because they were waiting," came a new voice. The council turned to see Science Director Vental, the oldest and wisest among them. "The humans studied our first contact protocols. They knew we evaluate species based on their visible military capabilities, so they showed us what they wanted us to see: a divided planet with modest defenses, all while building their true fleet in secret." "But the attack," protested another counselor. "We had justification. Their transmissions were misinterpreted." Vental interrupted. "Our linguists confirmed it after reviewing the data again. What we thought were threats were cultural expressions, entertainment, fiction. The humans weren't threatening us. They were simply being human." A heavy silence fell over the council chamber as the implications sank in. They had attacked Earth based on a fundamental misunderstanding of human communication, and now humanity was revealing its true face, a face of retribution. Back at Proxima Centauri, the 6-hour deadline expired. True to Torres's word, the human fleet avoided civilian targets entirely. But their precision was devastating. The Wraith infiltrators had mapped every military installation, every weapon emplacement, every barracks. The Vindicator's main batteries fired, not with explosives, but with weapons that seemed to fold space itself, causing Vesperi military infrastructure to implode with terrifying precision. In orbit, the Vesperi defensive fleet fought desperately, but they were outmatched. Human vessels seemed to predict their every move, countering tactics before they fully formed. Unknown to the Vesperi, UDF ships carried advanced AI systems that had spent decades analyzing potential alien combat strategies. On the Vindicator's bridge, Torres watched the systematic dismantling of Vesperi forces with professional detachment. "Casualties?" he asked. "Minimal, sir," Wu reported. "As ordered, we're focusing on military targets. Civilian evacuation was largely successful." Torres nodded approvingly. "This isn't about vengeance. It's about justice and showing strength. There's a difference." Halfway across the galaxy, Commander Chen led her own fleet toward the Vesperi homeworld. Her task force had been cutting through Vesperi territory like a scalpel, neutralizing military outposts and liberating the handful of worlds the Vesperi had conquered from other species. "Commander," her communications officer called. "We're receiving a transmission from the Vesperi Supreme Leader." Chen raised an eyebrow. "Put it through." The image of Dravkor appeared, his once proud posture now subdued. "Commander Chen, I request an immediate cessation of hostilities. We are prepared to offer unconditional surrender." Chen studied the alien leader, her expression unchanged. "Your attack on Earth killed millions. Surrender is only the beginning of what we require." "We misunderstood your species," Dravkor admitted. "A grave error that we now recognize." "Explain," Chen demanded. "We intercepted your broadcasts for years. Our analysts concluded you were threatening the galaxy with violence. Your entertainment, your fiction, we interpreted them as declarations of your intentions toward other species." Chen almost laughed, but the tragedy was too great. "You attacked us because you watched our movies. We believed we were conducting a preemptive strike against an imminent threat," Dravkor explained. "We were wrong. Catastrophically wrong." Aboard Chen's flagship, the Phoenix, her senior staff exchanged glances of disbelief. Humanity had been attacked because aliens had misinterpreted their fiction as documentary evidence of aggression. "Your surrender is accepted," Chen finally said, "with conditions. You will make reparations to Earth, you will submit to oversight, and you will acknowledge humanity's right to defend itself by any means necessary." "And Krelfax?" Dravkor asked. "He led the attack. Will face justice," Chen stated firmly. 1 month later, in a formal ceremony broadcast throughout known space, Supreme Commander Krelfax stood before a tribunal composed of representatives from multiple species. Commander Chen represented Earth, her uniform bearing the new insignia of humanity's revealed military might. "Do you understand the charges against you?" the tribunal head asked. Krelfax's mandibles moved slowly. "I do. I ordered the attack on Earth based on flawed intelligence and misunderstanding. I take full responsibility." Chen studied the alien commander. "You misjudged us completely. You thought our technological development in some areas meant weakness in others. You thought our open communication meant vulnerability. You thought our apparent disunity meant we couldn't defend ourselves." "Yes," Krelfax admitted. "We believed your species showed its true face to the galaxy. We never considered you might be deliberately concealing your strength." Chen's lips curved in a slight smile. "That was your fatal mistake. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak when you are strong is the greatest strategic advantage. We developed our civilian technology openly but built our military in secret. We let the galaxy believe we were divided while uniting behind closed doors. As the tribunal concluded, sentencing Kralvax to confinement and labor rebuilding what he had destroyed, a new understanding spread throughout galactic civilization. Humanity wasn't just another spacefaring species. They were strategists who thought in decades, not moments. They were warriors who understood that the most powerful weapon is the one your enemy doesn't know exists. In the years that followed, other species approached Earth with new caution and respect. The humans, for their part, began to reveal more of their true capabilities. But never all. They maintained their secret facilities, continued their hidden research, kept their most advanced weapons in reserve. Because if there was one lesson they wanted the galaxy to learn, it was simple. They may strike first, but Earth will always strike harder. And somewhere in deep space, Commander Chen and Admiral Torres stood together, watching the construction of humanity's next generation of defenses. Preparations not for the war just won, but for the ones that might come centuries in the future. "Do you think they understand us now?" Torres asked. Chen shook her head slightly. "They're beginning to. But understanding isn't the goal. What is? Making sure they never forget." Chen looked out at the stars, her expression resolute. "We were silent not because we were weak, but because we were waiting. And we'll be ready again, if necessary." The galaxy had learned its lesson. Earth was not to be underestimated. Ever again.